So we have some breaking news that Donald Trump just suffered a massive defeat at the Supreme Court, basically ruling that his tax returns can be used in a trial against him at the New York state level. I want to read you some reporting on this and then talk about the significance. It says here, the Supreme Court cleared the way for a New York prosecutor to obtain former President Donald Trump's tax returns, dealing a massive loss to Trump, who has fiercely fought to shield his financial papers from prosecutors. The documents will be subject to grand jury secrecy rules that restrict their public release. The ruling is a bitter loss for Trump, even if the tax returns are shielded from public disclosure, after he consistently argued that the subpoena issued by Manhattan District Attorney Cyrus Vance was overbroad and issued in bad faith. It means that the grand jury investigation into alleged hush money payments and other issues will no longer be hampered by Trump's fight to keep the documents secret. The ruling was issued without comment or dissent. So a few important things there. One, when they say issued without comment or dissent, it means that there was no fight between the 9 justices, at least not enough for them to put it on paper. That basically means that none of the 9 judges, including the 6 conservatives, 3 of which Trump appointed, felt they needed to dissent to this ruling. And there wasn't really a comment made about how they agree with Trump a little bit, but ultimately they're siding against him, which might give him some legal and moral cover. This was unequivocally a defeat for Trump. Earlier, there was a 7-2 ruling that basically said, last year, that Trump couldn't indefinitely shield his personal tax records from public scrutiny via lawsuits and things like that, and that they sent it back to the lower courts to try and say, okay, look, if you feel there are specific issues with specific rulings, you can bring it back. But they tried to basically say, oh, it's overbroad and this is a witch hunt against Donald Trump. And the Supreme Court rejected that. They rejected that. They basically said that it's not unreasonable in a criminal investigation against Donald Trump to have access to his tax records as part of that criminal investigation. And I don't think that's an unreasonable point by the Supreme Court. Now, another thing to note here is that it's not like in the next 2 or 3 days, or even in the next 2 or 3 months, we're going to have all of Donald Trump's tax data for us to ogle and us to, as individuals, as just regular people, go over. That's not how this works. These tax records are still personal information of Donald Trump, and they'll only be disclosed in the jury setting, meaning that people on the grand jury, lawyers on both sides, will get access to this information, but it won't necessarily go public, at least now. So don't expect to get the nitty-gritty, juicy details of the Trump tax system and his hush money and all these sorts of payments, at least yet. But do know that these are being used against him. And for those that do want to see Trump face some kind of justice, this is a crucial turning point. Because as we noted, with federal crimes, he did have the ability to pardon himself. And there is the smallest possibility, however tiny, that he gave himself a secret, retroactive, total pardon for anything federal. But Cy Vance is not suing Donald Trump, and he's not prosecuting Donald Trump at the federal level. He's doing it at the state level, where Donald Trump, no matter how powerful a presidential pardon can be, does not affect state jurisdiction issues. It doesn't affect it. So if you do want to see Donald Trump go to jail or pay hefty fines or lose some kind of licensing or just be dragged into court and, face a jury of American people holding him accountable, then this is the first big step. Because you're not going to get a conviction or probably even a trial without evidence. Like, we have to be fair. As much as we don't like Donald Trump on this channel, every American deserves a fair trial. Every person deserves a fair trial, innocent until proven guilty. And you need evidence to prove that guilt. And Donald Trump's taxes, basically from 2011 to 2019, as per this ruling, will be, I think, a lot of evidence used to find this man at least worthy of standing trial. I would be fairly surprised, given what we know now and given all the information they're going to get, that Donald Trump doesn't face some sort of trial. Although I am skeptical of the reality of a former president going to jail, this could still be some small matter of justice for the American people against a man that spat on their democracy and tried to destroy their democracy.